Okay, we're going to have a look at making a bottle using the sketch technique. So here we go. I'm going to choose a sketch, choose a plane. One of the side planes is good. Just going to move my page down a little bit, and I'm going to go from the center point upwards, and I'm going to go for maybe 100 mil. Okay, I'm going to come from there. I'm going to come across. I'm going to zoom in a bit so I can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to go for 10 mil. And I'm also going to come down on that same line 10 mil, and I'm going to finish there, right click and say OK. I'm going to come down to the bottom of my line, and I'm going to draw a straight line again. This time I'm going to come out maybe 30, maybe 25, something like that. 20 will do. Okay, I'm going to swap over now, and I'm going to go for a arc, a 3-point arc. Now with a 3-point arc, it basically wants you to know where your start point is, which is going to be there for the first one, maybe a end point, which can be about here, and then a midpoint, so somewhere in between. To make a curve shape, I'll go for that one, will do. So there's my first one. I'm going to use the same tool again. I'm going to go for the 3-pointed arc. I'm going to do my first point, my last point, and a midpoint. You can see it trying to lock to different positions there. If I zoom in, I've got more control over the lock. I can lock to different positions there. Go for that one. Zoom back out again, and I'm going to finish off with the same tool again. Now I could have used any of these drawings. I didn't have to use arcs, but you'll see why I've done that in a minute. So end point, start point, and one in the middle. Something like that will do. Okay, so I'm going to click Stop Sketch, and if you'll see now, if I go into my isometric view, there's my kind of silhouette of a shape. It's doing nothing, but I can actually now go in and I can do what's called a revolve. Choose revolve. It says where's the profile, click on the profile, click on the axis. Where's the axis? I want to go along this one here. Watch what happens when I click. There you go, bang, all the way around. I'm going to press enter, and I'm going to accept those values. I'm not going to change anything. There's a bottle shape. It's not doing an awful lot of anything at the moment, but you can see that it's very easy to make, and I can do some things like, if I want to add a screw thread onto the top of it, I can go for that and just find my thread. There's thread, click on this part. Now I don't necessarily want the thread to be that kind of thread. I can change all the things to do with the thread on here afterwards. I'll leave it on what it was on there because it looked okay, but I'm going to say I don't want it to be full length. I want it to be maybe half the length, something like that. I can play around with it. I can always come back and edit it again later. And then finally, what I might want to do is I might want to go for a shell. Okay, shell basically means take the inside out. So I'm going to click on this top surface here. Okay, it's shelling it to 0.29 of a mil. That's probably too skinny. So I'm going to swap that to a 1 and get rid of those and put 2 zeros in. So it's going to be 1 mil thick on the inside. Click OK. And if I swing it around so you can see it, there's the inside of my bottle. So that's a very quick way of doing it. Now if I wanted to, I can always go back in. I can right click and I can edit my sketch. Let's just click off it first. Go back. You can't quite see on the screen. I've right clicked on edit sketch. There's my profile. I can come back in and I can change some of these things if I wanted to. Change the angles and see what happens on this if I make it bigger and smaller. Flick back out again by saving the sketch, and you can now see the new curvature. So it's still taken these same commands that came afterwards, so I can edit it at any point. I might decide that this looks way too weird now, so I'll go back and edit it again. But that's how you do using a sketch.